She stabbed me while pregnant. The journey from Ikemora to Zainab present village felt longer than it truly was. Every bump on the dusty road made her groan softly in pain. Hawa held her tightly from the back of the motorcycle, whispering prayers into her ears. Ya Allah, please don't take my child. Not like this. Alhaji Bashir rode in silence, his jaw clenched, his mind burning with anger. What he had seen in that compound, he would never forget it. When they finally arrived, Zainab was quickly carried inside mats were spread. Warm water was brought. Food was prepared immediately. But even the smell of the food made her weak. Her body had forgotten what it meant to be nourished. That night, the house did not sleep. Hawa sat beside her daughter, gently rubbing her back. Eat a little, my child, she pleaded softly. Zainab shook her head. It hurt. Tears filled Hawa's eyes again. No mother should see her child like this. Outside, the night grew deeper. The wind picked up, and far away in the direction of Ikemora, something stirred. Back in Mama Rukayya's compound, darkness sat heavily in every corner. Then once busy home was now felt empty, too quiet, too still. Mama Rukayya sat alone in her room, a lantern flickering beside her. She tried to eat, but her hands trembled. Every little sound made her jump. A creak, a whisper of wind, a shifting shadow. This is nonsense, she muttered to herself. There is nothing here. But even she didn't believe her own words. Suddenly, knock. Her body froze. She looked at the door. Who is there? She called out, her voice unsteady. No answer. Silence. She swallowed hard. It must be the wind. She turned back to her food. Then, knock, knock. Louder this time. More deliberate, her heart began to race. Who is there? She shouted. Still no response. Gathering what little courage she had left, Mama Rukayya stood up and slowly walked towards the door. Her steps were hesitant, careful, as if the ground itself might betray her. She reached for the handle, paused, then flung the door open. Nothing, no one, only darkness, and the cold night air rushing in. But as she turned back, the lantern inside her room went off. Poof! Darkness swallowed everything. Mama Rukayya gasped. Who is doing this? She cried. Then she heard it, a voice, low, familiar, right behind her. Why did you do it? Her entire body went stiff. Slowly, painfully, slowly, she turned, and there in the faint glow of moonlight, she saw him, Sadiq. Her scream tore through the night. No, this is not real, she shouted, backing away. But the figure did not move. It stood there, calm, watching. You should not be here, she whispered, shaking violently. You sent her away to die, the voice echoed. I did nothing, Mama Rukayya cried. She killed you. She brought bad luck. Silence, then. You know the truth. The words hit like thunder. Mama Rukayya's breathing became uneven. No, no, she muttered, shaking her head. But deep inside, something was breaking. Miles away in her parents' house, Zainab suddenly woke up, gasping, her eyes wide. Sadiq, she whispered. Hawa rushed to her side. What is it? Zainab looked around, confused, emotional. I heard him back in Ikemora. Mama Rukayya fell to her knees. Leave me alone, she begged. I am your mother. The air grew colder, heavier. You let them give me that medicine, the voice said slowly. You watched me suffer. Tears streamed down Mama Rukayya's face. I was trying to protect you, she cried desperately. They said she was not good for you. They said she would take you away from me. The wind howled violently around the compound. Doors slammed, objects rattled. Fear and completely taking over. You chose them over me, the voice replied, and then silence. The presence disappeared just like that. Mama Rukaya collapsed on the floor, shaking uncontrollably. Her secret, the truth she had buried, was no longer hidden. The next morning, the village woke up to shocking news. Mama Rukaya was found outside her house unconscious, muttering to herself. She did it. It wasn't her. The villagers gathered in confusion. What is she saying? What happened to her? But one thing was clear, something had broken her. Back in Zainab's parents' home, a small smile touched her lips for the first time in days, weak but real, because somehow she felt it. Justice was coming. The morning sun rose slowly over Ikemora, but the village did not wake in peace. A crowd had gathered outside. A crowd had gathered outside Mama Rukaya's compound. Whispers filled the air, mixed fear with curiosity. She was talking to herself all night. She mentioned her dead son. Something is not ordinary here. Inside the compound, Mama Rukaya sat on the bare floor, her wrapper loosely tied, her eyes sunken and restless. She looked like a completely different woman. Gone was the pride. Gone was the harshness. What remained was fear. The village elder, Malam Sani, arrived with few respected men. He walked slowly into the compound, his presence commanding silence. Mama Rukaya, he called gently. What is going on here? She didn't respond. Her lips moved, but no clear words came out. Malam Sani sat across from her. You have said things that were troubling the village, he continued. If there is a truth hidden, now is the time to speak it. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly she laughed, a dry, broken laugh, and sent chills down everyone present. You all want the truth? She said weakly. Can you carry it? The compound went silent. Even the wind seemed to pause far away in her parents' house. Zainab sat outside, wrapped in shawl. She looked better than before, but still fragile. Hawa placed a ball of pap in her hands. You must try today, she said softly. Zainab nodded slowly. She took a sip for the first time in days. Her body didn't reject it. But just as she swallowed, she froze. Her eyes widened, and the ball slipped from her hands, crashed. Zainab, Hawa rushed forward. What is it? Zainab's voice came out in a whisper. They are talking. Who? About Sadiq. Mama Rukaya's hands trembled as she spoke. It was not supposed to go this far, she said. Malam Sani leaned forward. What do you mean? She closed her eyes tightly. Asebe, she whispered. The name caused murmurs among the villagers. Asebe the herbalist. What does she have to do with this? Mama Rukaya nodded slowly, tears slipping down her face. She came to me weeks before Sadiq fell ill. Flashback. The compound was quiet that evening. Asebe sat close to Mama Rukaya, her voice low and convincing. Your son loves that woman too much, she said. Mama Rukaya frowned. She is his wife. Asebe shook her head. No, she is taking him away from you. Soon he will forget you completely. Those words planted something dangerous. Fear, possessiveness, control. What should I do? Mama Rukaya asked quietly. Asebe smiled faintly. I will give you something, just a little medicine. It will weaken the bond between them. He will return to you. Mama Rukaya hesitated, but not for long. Back to present. I didn't want to kill him. Mama Rukaya cried. I only wanted my son back. Gasps filled the compound. You poisoned your own child, someone shouted. I didn't know, she screamed. She said it was harmless. Malam Sani's face hardened. And you gave it to him? Mama Rukaya nodded slowly, her body shaking. I mixed it in his food, little by little. Tears streamed endlessly down her face, but instead of coming back to me, he became weaker, sicker. Her voice broke completely, and then he died. Silence, heavy, unforgiving. One of the villagers stepped forward angrily. And you bled the innocent woman? You starved her, tortured her for your own crime? Mama Rukayya covered her ears. I didn't know what to do, she cried. If the truth came out, I would lose everything. So you chose to destroy her instead. Malam Sani said coldly. At that exact moment, a strong wind rushed through the compound. The same wind, the same presence. Everyone felt it. The air shifted, and then a clay pot hanging near the kitchen suddenly fell and shattered. Crash. People screamed and stepped back. Mama Rukayya froze, her eyes wide with terror. He is here, she whispered. Miles away, Zainab clutched her stomach tightly. Tears filled her eyes. He didn't die naturally, she said. Hawa looked confused. What are you saying? Zainab shook her head slowly. They did something to him. Back in Ikemora, Malam Sani stood up, his voice loud and firm. This matter is no longer hidden, he declared. What has been done must be judged, and Asabe must answer for this. The villagers nodded in agreement. Anger was rising. Justice was coming. Mama Rukayya collapsed forward, crying uncontrollably. I have lost my son, she sobbed, and now I have lost my soul. But deep down, she knew something worse was coming, because some truths do not just destroy reputations, they destroy lives. That evening, word spread across the neighboring villages, the story of betrayal, of a mother's deadly mistake, of a widow who suffered for a crime she never committed, and of a spirit that refused to rest on the truth until the truth was known. As night fell, the wind blew once again through Ikemora, but this time it carried something different. Not just anger, but justice. To be continued. Thanks for staying with me on this wonderful channel. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this wonderful channel to stay tuned once I drop the next story. Bye. See you in my next story.